Hey everybody, welcome. So I'm not trying to be quiet, I'm training right now. Hey Mary. It may look like the only thing I'm doing is handing food. Hey Nicole, hey Barbara. It may look like the only thing I'm doing is handing food, hi Sean, to Rico, but I'm training him. Does anybody know what I'm training him? What do you think? Good morning, Tim. Good morning, Valerie. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with the Critters. Good morning, Lydia. Have some faithful viewers on here this morning, bright and early, here in Northwest Ohio. Behavior is happening all around us. Hey, Sharon. Can you hear it? Because there's some behavior happening on the other side of that camera. And it's up to me whether I reinforce it or not. Good morning, Joan. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Jennifer. Anybody want to know what I'm training right now? There's some serious body language happening right there. Good morning, Tracy. Slice. How are you? Good morning, everybody. My name is Lara Joseph. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with the Critters. We do a live stream every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. If I am out of town, I try to take you guys with me. And this is my first Sunday in town in several weeks. Yeah, quiet and calm. Kinda, Felicia. Rico isn't necessarily comfortable with me wearing these glasses. So he's giving me some serious body language. So I'm trying to shape calm with the glasses on my face as I come in close proximity. Like I tell you, that's the importance of why I tell people, keep your animals used to change. Good morning, Jeannie. Got up at 5. Just took a look at the glasses. Oh, let's see if we can up the ante here. This is why I say, when you start to work with animals, try to identify in the beginning the top 3 reinforcers. And I just switched, and that's why. So I started off with almonds, which are of high value, but not as high value as the pine nuts. He's looking at me like, the glasses are on again. Good morning, Nancy Forrester. Nancy Forrester from Key West. Nancy's Secret Garden is on here this morning. She says exactly 2 months ago today, right now, we are experiencing the brunt of Irma. So yeah, Nancy, you are one of the things I wanted to talk about first thing this morning. So welcome back to civilization, Nancy. So yep, I am sitting here training Rico to accept me sitting in close proximity with my glasses on. Serious body language going on here, because it really sucks when your co-host attacks you during a live stream. So I'm trying to prevent that from happening. Good morning, Carol. Good morning, Eva. Good morning, everybody. So my name is Lara Joseph, owner of the Animal Behavior Center. We're an international educational center where we teach people through our live streaming services about working with animals using applied behavior analysis and positive reinforcement. We do that through our online membership programs and our projects, which are species specific. You can find out more about that information at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com, and I'm losing my co-host. But yeah, this is what we do every day. We live stream. Teaching people about applied behavior analysis and incorporating into the lives of animals, such as we have a lot of followers that are wildlife ambassador educators. We have a lot of followers large in the zoo community. a lot in the parrot community, several other communities that I just am having a blank right now. Hey everybody. Hey Kim, good to see you. So yeah, I like to do a lot of my work with exotics, but definitely not limited to, because we have Quincy joining us in the background. And the reason I like to, hey Diane, the reason I like to work with exotics is because it's a great educational tool to the public, showing, we can use force and coercion with animals, but it's not necessary. We don't have to. Sometimes like dogs are very easy to, because they're very resilient. So we can use force and coercion with them sometimes, and they bounce back. But when you're working with exotics, not so easy to bounce back. And a lot of times you can be putting yourself in very dangerous situations. That's why I like to work with exotics, because it's a real eye-opener for people. Sure, you can put a shock or prong collar on your dog, but how are you going to control that with an exotic? Not that you should put a shock or prong collar on your dog, because when we know better, we do better. Educate ourselves. Telling an animal what not to do, consistently telling an animal what not to do, has several different side effects. Imagine it being used on you. And one of those side effects is frustration, anxiety, increased aggression, and several other things. So I don't tell animals what not to do, because I know it's a lot stronger when you reinforce behaviors you do want to see increase. So I was contemplating, I need to feed Jefferson thanks Michael, I need to feed Jefferson the kestrel, and I need to feed Milo the mini pig. So I may take you guys with me this morning, and we'll feed those different animals and show you how it works. But yeah, before we get started, like last weekend, I was just outside of Columbus in Newark, Ohio, speaking at the Ohio Wildlife Rehabilitators Association. What a fabulous, fabulous event. So I gave a 4-hour workshop on Friday and 2 back-to-back 1-hour sessions on Saturday. Those of you in level 1, I live streamed my talk, my presentation. Good morning, Adriana, and good morning, Karen, the manager here at the Animal Behavior Center. I live streamed for level 1 my talk on identifying reinforcers and reinforcement. Because when you're working with wildlife for education animals, the only time I see a wild animal, when a wild animal comes to me, is when it's unreleasable. And people will send their, organizations will send their wildlife to me to be trained to take the stress out of the animal's environment, because that animal, if it stays in captivity, it needs to be presented and go on outings to educate the public on why that animal is important to our ecosystem. That is why we have Willie the turkey vulture here and Jefferson the kestrel. They are both wildlife ambassadors. So identifying reinforcers and reinforcement are so much more than food. And this was a big key point in my presentations last weekend. Some people that say they've tried positive reinforcement and it doesn't work. I kind of chuckle, because yes, it does. That's why when we know better, we do better. We use this with a wide variety of animals, and working with wildlife ambassadors, those are some of your best educators, because they don't want anything to do with you. They've lived some of their life in the wild, and good morning, Carrie. Good morning, Lori. They've lived their life in the wild. They want nothing to do with you. It is hard to find reinforcers to get them to reinforce behavior you want to see maintain or increase, when you can't even get close enough to deliver the reinforcer. So I give kudos to anybody working with wildlife ambassadors. If you really want to practice using applied behavior analysis with animals, go volunteer at your local wildlife rehabilitation center. The wildlife were some of my, and still are, some of my best educators. Yes, and we were, oh, Adrian, I'm glad you brought that up, attention. So I am teaching, I'm co-lecturing with Dr. Jason Crean, a zoo biology and genetics course through St. Xavier University out of Chicago. We were just talking about yesterday, we did a Skinner paper review as part of the coursework, and Skinner even said attention is a high valued reinforcer for people, and so many people misuse it and often reinforce very undesired behaviors of the children in their care because of the misuse of attention. Attention is a huge reinforcer. The misuse of attention by people is a huge reinforcer for why most animal shelters are filled to the hilt, because people unknowingly reinforce undesired behaviors with attention. Attention is a huge reinforcer. You guys see that with our work with Rico. We use attention to reinforce his somersaults. You also hear me say, in order to change a behavior, you must replace it with another. So I can tell if Rico may start screaming, so I cue him to fly to the ground and start tossing toys instead. And then I deliver the attention for when he tosses the toys, not when he's screaming. And I was saying last weekend in my reinforcers and reinforcement presentation, if he's screaming, just turning and glancing at him is enough of a reinforcer to keep that undesired behavior very strong. Melba says, hang on, let me go back here, because Melba, I have not seen you in here before. But I'm sure I haven't seen several people. Interesting, I have 3 blue and golds. One was a rescue that is wild, I'm assuming wild caught, lived in a barn as a breeder. She is learning to be a pet, and with the other 2 parrots. Good, thanks for taking her in, Melba. You see what with your husband, Eva, what the misuse of attention. So we were just talking, well, that kind of brings us, let's get into that, because that's the topic of the live stream today. But anyways, a couple of things I want to bring up real quick as we get started. Yes, so last weekend at OWRA, the Ohio Wildlife Rehabilitators Association, I was talking with several people, and I took Levi, our deaf dog, and Cello, the roller pigeon. Snow was requested for me to bring to OWRA. Snow is our deaf and blind puppy. She's just turned 1 year old and she's not ready yet. So I asked if they would mind if I brought Levi, our deaf dog, and he was fabulous. He was fabulous. So Rico's watching the live stream. Would you like some of this? Not looking too motivated. And another thing I hear a lot of people say is, my animal's not food motivated. And I'm here to tell you, oh yes it is. Yes it is. Okay. Serious body language happening there. Okie dokie. And you can create motivation using applied behavior analysis with animals or with anything. It's using environmental events to control behavior. We need to keep our animals under control. Control is not a bad word. And as I stated in my presentation last week, we have to keep things we love in our control, and we do it because we love them. We control our households, we control our families. Let me get my coffee real quick. We control our environments, and we have to keep our loved ones safe. Right, Rico? So, yeah, but we got a couple of things coming up, and I just wanted to show you guys asked for another mug. I asked for your opinions on here. We've got our snow mug now, we've got our Rico mug, and I was trying to get my Rico mug, but I couldn't find it this morning. We've got another one in production right now. We asked what you guys wanted, and you told us, and it's, hey, Jen, good to see you. And it's on its way. So Christina says control is not a 4-letter word. Exactly. And I have a podcast in our membership specifically on control. So using applied behavior analysis is using environmental events to control behavior. I'm using environmental events to try to control his behavior, because if I walked in this room this morning with my glasses on my face, I pretty much guarantee you he would have started screaming, and he would be screaming right now. What you think, Pipsqueak? So I am training him. What you think? So he keeps coming back down to this station. What is the reinforcer? He is not screaming. Good job. Not really. So he's looking at something. Looking at this. I need to reinforce calm behavior. So there's Anna. She's the one that designs our mugs for us. Anna Garcia. Thank you. But there's certain things I do when I say keep your animals used to change. Just, I'm not a foo-foo type of girl. I don't really get into having my nails done or obviously my hair. I just get out of bed and I go with it. But there was a series of times that, hear that? That's behavior. Do I want to reinforce that or not? No, I sure don't. Karen asked if I got her email this morning. No, I did not, Karen. I haven't checked my emails yet today. But the reason I got my nails done is to keep my, particularly my birds used to change. I started off with a light pink, so this is shaping, reinforcing small approximations towards desired behavior. Good. Trying to identify a reinforcer. Having a hard time, but I think obviously one's being delivered because he keeps coming back. So you can shape this behavior. I shaped the behavior of my glasses being on my face today during this live stream. I'm training. I always tell you guys, that animal can see, hear, smell, or feel you. You're training it whether you realize it or not. The key question is, what are you training it to do? So if I walked in with my glasses on, I could have been teaching him, scream when you see change, okay? Especially when it's on my face. Or I could have walked in and shaped this behavior, which is exactly what I did, and I'm continuing to do. What was I saying? Oh, the fingernails. So I started shaping change. I started with light pink. I tried to match. I'm always trying to reinforce calm. So begin at the animal's pace. So I tried to use a light pink to match my flesh, and I would come in close proximity, but I would not let them touch in the beginning. And then I had my nails done every 2 weeks, so I had 2 weeks to work with the light pink. And then I was able, and I think I even showed photos of this, keep your animals used to change, with the animals perched on, or the birds perched on my hand when I had blue fingernail polish on. I'm not a big fan of blue fingernail polish, but I did it because I was training. I wanted to train. What you think, Pipsqueak? Yeah? What do you think? Yeah? Nope. Hey, what can I give you? So obviously I need to move on to something that's maybe not food. I don't know if that'll fit through your cage bars, sweetheart. Let me try something else. What do you think, Rocky? That's right. I'm going to give him something he doesn't usually have. Try this. Yep, it worked. So, found a winner. And that's why I say I always try to, we have many food reinforcers here. But food are only part of our reinforcers. A lot of it is attention. Try that again with glasses on. How do you find your podcast, Holly? Our podcasts are for those people that are subscribed to our online membership program. We put out an hour-long podcast every month. There's a whole library there. There's a video training library. You can find that at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com or just message me right here on Facebook. And I know we have several members online here. I love the podcast. They're action-packed and they're released once a month, and they go hand in hand with the live stream training that we do within our membership program. So we do live streams like this within our membership program, but they're more intense, focused, and I'm constantly interacting with you guys, in addition to our monthly Q&A. But that's the importance. Keep your animal used to change. You see, I've already worked with 3 different food reinforcers today. I'm also working with several other reinforcers. Attention, proximity. That's a little bit too. Really trying to read body language. So our memberships are all about applied behavior analysis and working with multiple different animals. We work with different zoo animals in level 2, companion animals level 1, and then we have the projects, which also go hand in hand with the memberships, which are species specific. If people don't want to know, they want to know just about birds or just about pigs. So our projects are half off for those that are already members. So anyways, that's the importance, keeping your animal used to change. Yeah, Eva says, go look, thanks. Hey, there's Sherry. She's one of our newest members this last week, and she said, Sherry, I'm going to, I think you just sent me a message. I'm going to, Sherry joined our membership program this past week, and she said she wants live streams on training your husbands. And I said, we can do that because, which is key in our topic today. Like that. Because oftentimes we can sit and train our animals all we want, but when your family comes in, they can easily untrain everything you've been training. That is the topic of today's live stream. The holidays in our animals. So, what is the cost of the membership, Leslie? It depends. There's 3 different levels actually. What are you thinking, Rocky? Depends on which one you want. Rock and roll. Reinforcing vocalization in the background there, and I'm not using food. So anyways, Martha says, I love shaping. I do it with my German Shepherd, who at times demands bark for me to play in the yard when I need him to come in. Yeah, and that's something we just talked about. Let's see. Okay, so I have a deaf and blind dog here. I have a deaf dog, and I have Quincy, who's she can fully hear and see and everything. So anyways, one of the things, a behavior issue that happened here is my deaf dog started barking a lot. And I just get a little agitated when dogs consistently bark because it's being reinforced somehow. That dog is looking for information, asking for information, and maybe no information is given. And I always tell people, your animals are always looking for information. They're always giving desired behavior. Are we paying attention to reinforce it? Oftentimes, no. And we accidentally or knowingly or unknowingly reinforce it when the undesired behavior happens. So Levi was barking. He is our deaf dog. So I sat and I was like, I need to identify the reinforcer behind this undesired behavior. He's sitting there barking, and there goes Rico doing his somersaults. He does that for attention. And if that doesn't work, he's gonna start screaming. Nice job, Pipsqueak. That's very good. I know my tone of voice is a cue or a trigger and a reinforcer for the bird room to explode, and what I call audible explosions. Oh, look at you, good job. So I'm trying to reinforce with attention, low key. What do you think? Are you gonna come back down here? You can. You gonna come back down here? Shelly's been here for a workshop, so she knows how we reinforce this. We stand here and clap. Good. So I'm getting very calm body language with Rico now with my glasses on. You see how I'm shaping. I'm no longer taking my glasses off when I hand him a pine nut. Good. Suki's gonna start barking. So anyways, back to the duck. I knew because she gave me that antecedent. So back to Levi with the barking. Good morning, Julie. Hi. So I sat and observed. I'm like, okay, I need to find the reinforcer behind the bark because something's reinforcing it because the barking is maintaining or increasing. So I sat there and watched, and every time Levi would bark, hi, Rocky, Quincy can hear, she would take off running towards Levi and look to see what he was barking at. Yeah, peekaboo, Rocky. Good boy, Rocky. So I'm reinforcing Rocky's vocalizations. I'm reinforcing Rico's stationing, and he just said hi, and then Suki behind me barked. No delivery of a reinforcer there, hopefully. Anyways, so I identified the reinforcer behind the bark, which was attention. A huge reinforcer. Which was attention is a huge reinforcer. So Quincy can hear. So what I came up with a behavior change plan. So every time Levi would bark, he can't hear. So I would call Quincy to me. Good boy, Rico. Every time Levi would bark, I would call Quincy to me and reinforce. So I started to see the behavior of Levi starting to decrease. And then what Levi would do, I would stand in the kitchen. Levi runs to the front door and starts barking. As soon as he barks, I would call Quincy to me, reinforce with food and attention. And then I saw Levi's behavior of barking starting to decrease. And also what I would see was Levi coming into the kitchen to see where Quincy was. Well, she's sitting here. And I didn't have to tell Levi no. I didn't have to, I would never smack him because I don't have to. When I know better, I do better. Yeah. So I know what works. Hey, Rock. are going so good. Does that make sense? And applied behavior analysis works with all animals, including humans. Applied behavior analysis became very popular in the 1970s, and it's working with B.F. Skinner's laws of behavior. And I choose to study applied behavior analysis and follow it because it is so strong and it's made such a huge difference in my life, the animals' lives, and the work with all the animals I work with. Wildlife ambassador, zoo animals. A lot of the work we do here is getting animals ready to go to the vet. We do have a couple different animals that come in. We're getting ready to take in, hopefully, a couple of quadrumundis that will be coming in for training from a zoo. Hi. That will be live streamed within our level 2. Yes, Sharon. ABA works on husbands as well. So Sherry, our latest, one of our newest members, she's like, I want help training my husband. And I said, let's do it. Let's do it. We'll do this in our membership program because, like I said, we can sit here and train. What's my bridge, guys? He just said hi. I bridged it. What was it? Bridge is a sound or signal that tells the animal that's a particular behavior that's earning you the reinforcer that's getting ready to come as soon as I can get there. Can you tell I've given that definition several times? I just bridged again. Hey, Pat. So, thanks, Kim. Kim's a member, and she says it's made a huge difference with her horses and my clients' horses, too. Thank you for that, Kim. That's good to hear. Kelly, sunflower seeds are the reinforcer. I'm looking for the bridge, and I just lost the opportunity to bridge and reinforce. Anna, it does work great. It works with all animals. Remember me telling the story over the summer how my sister... You got it, Sandy. That's it, exactly. The bridge was, you didn't hear? Yes, Nicole. Awesome. You didn't hear me say anything. I didn't say good and then reinforce. Watch again. I'll see if he does it again. And see if he says hi. Remember, a bridge is a sound or a signal. Good. Oh, crap. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, don't pay attention to that one. It's just automatic. Let's see if it happens again. What's my bridge? Yep, it's a signal. So, yep, turning and reaching. That could be a good thing or a good thing or a bad thing. Okay, this is the fallout. I know what I'm doing. I know I'm intentionally bridging. I know the behavior I want is maintaining or increasing. So that's why I'm continuing to use that bridge, which is just reaching for the treat jar. That's also a major fallout when people try to train and they can't get the behavior they want because they see the animal almost giving the behavior, so they start reaching for the treat pouch. Right there's your signal. You're telling the animal to go ahead and stop. The behavior's already been completed. So, for example, when you are asking your giraffe, because everybody has one, right? When you're asking your giraffe a recall, watching body language. What is it, Rico? Something just happened outside. When you're asking your giraffe or dog or quadrumundi or squirrel or toucan to come to you, watching body language. He's checking in with Rocky. Hi, Rocky. When you're asking your giraffe, hi, yeah, we're gonna have an audible explosion. Sorry, guys, I can only contain it for so long. Hey, Rocky. When you're asking your giraffe to come to you and you bridge when it's only halfway to you, you've just told the animal that's the behavior that's earning you the reinforcer as soon as I can get it to you. You will often see your giraffe stop instead of come all the way to you. That's a behavior that needs to be shaped. And don't deliver the bridge when the behavior's in motion. You deliver the bridge when the behavior is completed. And that behavior that's being completed is in part of your shaping plan. So when I see people start to bridge when they call their dog to them and their dog is running and it's not at their feet yet, and they sit there and go, good job, that's so good, I just sit there and go face palm. So look at Pipsqueak. Sorry guys, I'm gonna raise my voice and it's gonna get loud. Look at Pipsqueak. Nice job. Yes. You want to do it again? You guys do more somersaults? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Nice job, Rico. Yay. Yes. Yes. So we were just talking about this. Oh, something else I wanted to tell you was last week at OWRA. Saturday night, I sat at dinner, and one of the people sitting at dinner with me was a... Woo! I'm going to reinforce that. Nice job. We may have to go feed the pigs. I did want to reinforce that because I do reinforce the wings flapping. Pipsqueak, come over here. You ready? Nice job. Yeah, yeah. Look at you. Nice job. Yeah. Yeah. I love cockatoos. They're very comical. High energy. Yeah. Yeah. High maintenance. Hi, Rocky. Loud. Hi, Rocky. What you doing, Rocky? Yeah, so even my tone of voice can be a reinforcer. Sorry. Good boy. So, that's right, Rock. Anyways, last Saturday, let me take you in and let's, I gotta feed my pig real quick. But I don't want to punish this behavior because he stopped screaming and he came back to his station. If I leave now, I could punish all this behavior, and I don't want to do it. Hi, Rocky. So anyways, last Saturday night I was sitting there because, and the person sitting next to me was a zoo biology instructor at another college here in Ohio. And I said, she had asked me to come to her university and speak before, and it was a couple of years ago. But I said, I have something now you may be very interested in, is several different colleges are asking me as part of their animal behavior, or hers is she's another zoo biology instructor. That's right, Rocky, is I can now help online with your students. So we're creating online college courses in animal training and behavior. Okay, let's go. I've got to feed my pig. And I want to feed my pig. Quince, I'll be right back. What's up, Milo? Yeah. So here's Milo. Yeah. What do you think? There he is. Let's go get him fed. And I want to show you how I feed him as well. So this may look like junk. It's not. It's enrichment. Shelley, do you recognize anything? So we're in here with Milo, our mini pig, and Jefferson, the kestrel. And we are training all the time. Let me grab some of Milo's food. I'll be right back. So when working with our animals over the holidays, a lot of stress, frustration. Sometimes animals aren't used to large amounts of people in their house. And here we are with Willie the turkey vulture right outside the window. She likes to see people. A lot of times she'll come to the door and the volunteers can't come out. And this is what I stated last weekend at OWRA. What's the behavior? The behavior is she's standing at the door. She's blocking the door so the volunteers can't get out through this door. So I ask, why? Why is she sitting there? They're like, well, she's not doing anything. She's just staring in the window. And so I went out and pulled the perch up next to the window, and I said, make it easier for her to get the reinforcement she's looking for, which is the sight of people. So we changed that undesired behavior, made it easier for her to do, and boom, our behavior issue is gone. All right, so that's the key in identifying a reinforcer. Anyways, something else over the holidays, our animals can get very excited, very overstimulated, very fearful if they're not used to that change, if they're not used to that amount of people in your house or your establishment. So you can redirect behavior with enrichment. This is something simple. This is very simple enrichment. But this may just look like junk. It's not. It's a box. I do a lot of ordering from Amazon. And then we save our boxes. And we show different things like this within the pig project. And I always tell people, the more intelligent the animal, the harder it is to keep. That's the pig, that's the parrot, that's the border collie. And we have all three, so I must be insane. But I help these animals, or education animals, and we show people how to work with these behaviors. So I could just give Milo his food in a dish. You see that food dish is empty. And that is because we train him to he forages for his food. Foraging means you get them searching for their food. In every behavior change plan here that we implement through the Animal Behavior Center, enrichment is a part of it. Enrichment is a part of it because it's a major occupier of time. See, intermittent schedules of reinforcement. But we did a live stream of this in the pig project, coming up with different types of enrichment. He's getting pretty good at it. So, and you also hear me say, with predictability comes boredom. This is very predictable to him now. So, but it was very easy for me to do in a live stream. But enrichment is a part of all of our behavior modification plans. So a lot of times, like over the holidays, people will board their animal. If you do, I highly suggest you make sure there is enrichment in that kennel with that animal, or in that cage with that animal, because having this environment that they're used to taken away from them and put in another environment with nothing else to do can be very stressful. It can bring about unwanted health issues. And it doesn't give the animal, lack of enrichment doesn't give the animals something else to do. You can keep, I mean, we have a lot of very active animals here, and a lot of times I may not have the time to give them what I want to give them on a daily basis. So what we do instead is we provide enrichment, mental and physical stimulation, through the enrichment. Keep them searching for their food. Okay, and this is our enrichment room. You can see this is where we make a lot of the enrichment for the animals. And here we have Jefferson the Kestrel, which we get out and train for a wildlife rehabilitation center. That would be Nature's Nursery in White House, Ohio. So we provide Jefferson his enrichment via his training. He gets out and flies in this room. So do you see how he could eat his food out of a dish in probably 30 seconds? But look how long it's taking him to eat his food now. I'm hearing from some people that there may be some connection issues. I got to still continue with the live stream for the replay. And for those that are still on here. Anyways, yeah, so incorporate enrichment. You can redirect behavior. A lot of times, I'm going to head back into the other room, but you see how long it's taking him? That helps prevent behavior issues. So my concern with animals over the holidays is the fact that animals aren't necessarily used to large amounts of people coming into their home. What's up, Willie? So this is a behavior, you just have to be creative. This is a behavior that can be shaped as well. Hey, Quince. See, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Yes, I love the Orby. Okay, Steve, no issues. Okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know. So she just went back to her foraging toy. I left her in here while in the other room, and I let her know I was leaving. And then I came back, and she's just sitting in there. All is well. Okay. So my concern with people and animals over the holidays is, yeah, the Orby. That's one we use here all the time. I love it. And something else I'd love to do is I would love to live stream review of toys. Here's even more enrichment. This is the Orby. I love this toy. We'll use this for the dogs and for the pig. This is the Orby. And because hard plastic makes a lot of noise, this makes no noise. So you don't have to listen to the animal constantly bang this up against the wall. This is how it's cleaned. So you can open it up and wash it. It has a little hole down here at the end. We stick a lot of, and then once you put the food inside, you can close this back again. We fill this with fruits and vegetables, and then we freeze it and we give it to the pig. That takes, give it to Milo. That takes a lot of time. That occupies a lot of time of the animal. You can do, hi, you can do that with your dog. Fill this with anything, treats or canned dog food mixed with kibble, and then freeze it, and then that's a meal. You can give that to your dog, and that could take your dog several hours to eat it. Why not when there's nothing else to do while you're gone at work? Hi. So something else that just happened is I just walked through that door with my glasses on. So I'm getting the behavior I want. He's still taking treats from me. Some of the body language I was getting at the beginning of the live stream, I'm no longer getting. Hi! Because I took a step back and shaped it. So the weather here in Northwest Ohio is getting cold. It is a high of 34 today with rain. possibly snow. Can it be destroyed by a dog? The Orby is supposed to be indestructible, and if the dog destroys it, you can ship it back, and they will give you a new one. Yeah, so I would love to do live stream reviews of enrichment, of animal enrichment, and give my opinion, because I'm a huge believer in enrichment. And I'm also a huge believer in, don't keep giving the same old toy over again, because this is boring. This isn't boring, but the constant delivery of this can get boring. You guys know that when I put we make all of our enrichment for our animals. So you see there's a gargantuous toy there. There's 2 gargantuous toys there. There's 1 gargantuous toy up there. There's another one right there. And that's just in one parrot's cage. Enrichment is individualized. What works for one animal may not work for another. We have multiple different animals here with different, I would say, learning levels. Rico's a rock star because I've had him since he was 5 months old. He's now 13. And I've shaped foraging with him since he was 5 months old. Those of you in the Snow Project or the Deaf Dog Project saw the toy that I gave to Snow. Snow is our deaf and blind puppy. I've had her for almost a year, probably to the day this weekend. That's when we drove to North Carolina and picked her up last year when she was 10 or 11 weeks old. And on the way home in the hotel room, I do believe I did a live stream of how I started shaping Snow, the behavior of Snow, our deaf and blind dog, to start foraging. And I started that on day 1 in the hotel room on the way back from North Carolina to Ohio. Why? I'm getting her used to change, consistent change, and keeping her comfortable with that. Did you see? Body language. You guys see that body language change? So, Thanksgiving is in less than 2 weeks. Thanksgiving is in less than 2 weeks, and all of a sudden people are going to be in the house. If the animals are not used to that, that can be very overstimulating. Overstimulation can lead to other behaviors that are easily labeled as aggressive, psychotic, whatever. No. Overstimulation is too much information and not knowing what to do with it. In no direction, no information given. So you can prepare them for that. That's why it's hard for your everyday homeowner to keep your animal used to change. The reason it's hard is because you have to think about it. And if it's not convenient for the person, they don't do it. And my key tip there is start thinking about it. When you're brushing your teeth in the morning, start thinking about it. Once you start thinking about it, if your mind is anything like mine, once you start thinking about it, that creativity is almost infectious and you can't stop thinking about it. Start writing different ideas down and start implementing them. Can you do coffee with Rocky? I love when he chimes in. Hey, Stephanie. So Rocky's there in the background. I should get Rocky out. One of these coffee with the critters, I'll get Rocky out. But a couple of things I want to tell you guys about. Hey, Murray! Ew! In the parrot project, I'm working with Murray, how to get a parrot to step up and move. Did you guys see our recent newsletter that just came out this week? If not, you can sign up. Look at your Facebook page right to the left. It says join our email newsletter list. We're packing them full of information. We're training Murray to step up onto a stick and how to be comfortable with being moved on that stick. I do weekly live streams showing all the steps I'm taking to get him to that point. Hi. But we just recently had a meeting. Coffee with the Critters was brought up because Coffee with the Critters brings a lot of attention to the Animal Behavior Center. A lot of people follow this. We have board certified behavior analysts in here. We have zookeepers in here, wildlife rehabbers, companion animal lovers, parrots, dogs, what have you, veterinarians, because a lot of the work we do is preparing animals for the vet visit to take that stress out of there because they have to go. Where did you get the Orbi? Looking to find answer later. Steve, I think I just got it on Amazon. O-R-B-E-E is how you spell it. But we just had a meeting and we were talking about Coffee with the Critters. We're going to start bringing you monthly. This is what we're thinking. Let me know what you guys think about this. We're going to do a monthly Q&A because you guys seem to like the Q&As. We're going to have topics on enrichment, probably monthly, an interview monthly, and pick a topic monthly. Tell us, message us, let us know what you guys want to hear. So if the company that made the Orbi, oh, Planet Dog, they know who we are, knew that I just reviewed this, why would you want me to review your enrichment items? I guess you might not want me to review it if I say this gets a thumbs down. But we're really big into, hi, come in. We're really big into providing choice, control, and complexity into animal environments, no matter what type of environment that is, because it empowers the animal. It has a major impact on behavior. Has a major impact on behavior. And like I always say, in order for a behavior to change, you must replace it with another behavior, and that's what we do with enrichment. So keep enrichment in your mind during the holidays, guys. If you can't keep your animals under your control, enrichment can help with that. So yeah, stay tuned. Patricia's son will be flying up here the beginning of December. We'll be doing a live stream fundraiser for Nancy Forrester of Nancy Forrester's Secret Garden down in Key West, Florida. Also in 1 month, maybe 1 month and 1 week, my husband are then flying to Key West for Christmas, and we'll be seeing Nancy Forrester while we're down there. So stay tuned, and I'll take you guys with me. All right, guys, I think that's the end of another Coffee with the Critters. If you guys have ideas or questions, feel free to message us right here on Facebook. That's what I do as soon as Coffee with the Critters is over, is I go to my office and sit there and review and answer your guys' questions. Let us know what topics you are interested in. For those that want more information, take a look at our memberships, our online memberships, via our live streams and our projects. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanksgiving is 1 week from this coming Thursday. Start getting your ideas ready for the holidays. You are very welcome. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you to my awesome co-host that now accepts my glasses. All right, see you guys. You're welcome, Michelle. Yeah, Coco.